To be, or not to be, that is a question. Well, 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. He was my sword brother, you know. A man to whom I owe my life. Several times over. Although I was born of noble blood, I did not seek the trappings of power. Instead, I tied the flag of my house to that of my king. I made it my duty to see to it that he would bring peace to this fractured land. I always thought he had. And we were blinded. We were blinded by the cause and fooled into thinking that he would have capitulated so easily. There is of little hope. But what else do I have to sustain me? Gods be damned. They will never give up, will they?
No. See, in those days, there was personality. There was respect. There was comradeship. There was gratitude. Today, it's all cut and dried. There's no chance of bringing friendship to bear at all. Or personality. You see what I mean? They don't know me anymore. Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance? Just one chance to come back here. Tell your enemies that they may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom. I'm putting a flower in my grave, and I'm a happy man. And I've got a lot of new friends now. Well, I'll tell you this. It's a guy who's willing to die for that inch who's going to win. And I know if I'm going to have a life anymore, I'm going to still have to fight for that inch to survive. Well, it's a very important job to be a police officer. I mean, the uniform itself, it sort of exudes a sort of like a sort of like authority. You're now scared, you're now shaking, and you're shaking. I used to go to acting classes actually years ago when I was, just when I left school. So I can actually, I can be very. You've got to be a bit of an actor if you're a policeman, I mean, you've got to be almost sort of like, international sort of level of for instance, Oscarish. God, why am I fucking praying? You rested in the seventh day, perhaps maybe you could have studied compassion and maybe put that into the equation, eh? How about that, God, eh? How about compassion? No! Because I've had one hell of a fucking life, man. I'm going now. That's it. Go on. You know, when you get old, things get taken away from you. That's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. It's a very strong feeling, this wee beer that you have, and you can have a bottle of cider, you wash it down, you know, and maybe about 6 Valium, you know, to sort of take the pain away, you know. It's a bad disease, you know. But what happened then was 6 months later I ended up lying in my pish in a stinking mattress, and where am I? In London. How did I get to London? How the fuck? Sorry, I'm not allowed to swear, but that's the way I felt, mate, you know. How did I get to London? I come from Glasgow. Nah, it's mental. The look, it peels. The blood, the colour, is so, it inspires. It's like a work of art. It's beautiful. I can't say enough of it. I love to see that, and even getting some of it flicking on the blood in my hands. I'll say this: the taste of a recent kill, fresh. Cooking it can be good as well, but that instant, that inspired moment when that person is seeing the last of this world, but I'm still there looking at it when it happens, is wonderful. Oh.
And you know, this mental guy came across to me, and there's a lot of mental people about. It's funny, they let all these lunatics out to hospital these days and give them little pills. And he came over to me, and he said to me, he says, I want to cut the bottom of your trouser leg off and put it in the library. And I thought to myself, that's a turn up for the books. Do you know? I tell you, another thing is, when I walked over to my car, he follows me over to my car. I jumped in the car and he says, could you give me a lift? I said, yeah, you're looking lovely, and go for it. And I shut the door and drove off. But I'll tell you one thing though, you know, there's one thing that always worries me, and that is when I'm standing up here, I'm not telling any jokes.
I've got no one left, man. Look at that beautiful sight up there. You didn't build that, God. Humanity built that. We built that. God. What a bad man you are. And I don't think you ever existed. This is the last thing I'm going to say. The only person is left will be you, God. I hope you're happy.